This is how my video looked like before editing in After Effects, blurry and kind of mushy in the details. And this is how it looked after using After Effects. Pretty different, right? So if you ever had a video that just looked off, like no matter what you tried, sharpening in Premiere Pro, upscaling, bitrate boosting, nothing really helped, let me show you a trick that actually worked out for me. I had this issue especially with videos that had a lot of small details, like this drone clip from the Taylor Swift concert. It's packed with people, lights, colors, but from above, all those details just get lost. And honestly, I thought I messed up. But then I discovered a way using After Effects that brought all the details back. Before we jump in, sharpening isn't magic. It can't invent details, but it can make existing edges more visible. In After Effects there are two main effects that I use: Sharpen and Unsharpen Mask. Sharpen simply increases contrast between edges. It's great, but very aggressive. Unsharpen Mask sounds weird, but it is more controllable. It sharpens based on detail, threshold and radius, and giving you more nuanced control. So let's start with the project we want to improve in Premiere Pro. But before we head over to After Effects, here's a tiny but very important advice. Don't be scared. We are just using a tiny part of After Effects. We are not diving down into the hell and make ungodly things. It's just After Effects, so relax. Take a deep breath if needed, and then do this step. This is just a normal sequence with several clips in the timeline. The first thing that we are doing, we mark the clips that we want to edit in After Effects. Right click and say Replace with After Effects Composition. Then After Effects will be opened automatically and we can see our 3 clips in the timeline of After Effects. We unmark those clips, and the first thing that we need to do, we have to add an adjustment layer above of our 3 clips. An adjustment layer in After Effects is basically the same as it is in Premiere Pro. You can add effects on the adjustment layer that affects everything that is underneath. So we add an adjustment layer on top. To do this, we go to Layer, New, and say Adjustment Layer. And here it is, the adjustment layer on top of our 3 clips. So now we add the 2 effects on our adjustment layer. To do that, we go over to Effects and Presets and type in the first effect, the Sharpen effect. So we say Sharp. And under Blur and Sharpen, we can find the Sharpen effect. We drag and drop it on the adjustment layer. And now the Sharpen effect is applied on our adjustment layer. We also need the Unsharp mask, and you will find it again under Blur and Sharpen. Drag and drop it again to the adjustment layer. And now we have the 2 effects applied on our adjustment layer. The next step will be we have to adjust the values of our 2 effects, starting with the Sharpen effect. For the Sharpen effect, I usually start with an amount of 40%, which is, I think, a good starting point for the Sharpen amount. And for the Unsharp mask, I usually start with 50%. The amount of the Sharpen mask and the Unsharpen mask indicates how strong the Sharpen effect will be applied to your image or to your footage. The radius indicates the size of the sharpened edges. I always leave it very low, so I go with around 2%, and I leave the threshold on 0. Threshold indicates where the Sharpen effect will be applied. 0 says that the whole image will be sharpened, and when you increase the value to maybe around 10, you say only edges with a big contrast difference are being sharpened. Normally I want to have the Unsharpen effect affecting on the whole image, so I leave it at 0. So if we go back to Premiere Pro, we can see that we already have really big improvements in our image. We can see a lot more details in our image. The contrast is better and the colors are more intense, I would say. So you have to play around a little bit with the values and match it to the image that you want to sharpen. Every image is different, and the best advice that I can give you is play around and see what is the best result, especially for your footage. So if you have footage that just doesn't look clean, give this combo a try. It is not a magic bullet, but in many cases, especially with drone footage, concerts and city shots, it can really improve your results. If this video helped you out, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel and activate the notification bell to don't miss out any of my upcoming videos. I'm sharing more simple ways to upgrade your footage with tools like Premiere Pro and After Effects, even if you're just getting started. So thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.